Welcome back, everyone. This is 401 Solstice 25, and I have been adding a bit of a waterway system-ish. Not really exactly a waterway, but it's a water system, I guess. It's like giant water tank that's gonna be feeding it, and lots of water cascading down, I guess. Or at the very least, some water cascading down. It's like a controlled amount at the moment. Because that's kind of what I wanted to do with it until I come up with something a little better. Actually, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to come up with anything for this. Or anything more, I should say. I haven't really fully decided. I just sort of started adding it in. I was thinking that might be cool to surround like these doorways with this. To like go from here to like inside or from here to outside. It might be something a little different. Hmm. I haven't fully decided what else I'm gonna do with this. I kind of want to light this up some, which is why I have this here, but I haven't fully decided what else I want to do with it. I know it's gonna need like more colors to make sure it doesn't clash with us too much. Like for the most part, it's bulky because I wanted it to like feel a little more consistent to myself when it comes to how it's probably should be. Uh, hmm. Yeah. I have not been recording for about a day or so, mainly because I've been having like technical like internet difficulties. Like now I finally have my skin. This is so nice. But yeah, I've also done some touch-ups over here. Like I have this here. I was thinking it would sort of be like an Enderman jaw. You know how like their jaw opens up when they're like incredibly angry or something. Imagine their jaw being used as a structural thing. Yeah. And I also done some touch-ups here. And we're going to do something else in just a second. Huh. Okay, so I'm trying to decide. I feel there's something else I should be doing to this, but I haven't quite figured out what. Hmm. So, thoughts that went into this. At first, I was thinking, let's have some more like goldenness because we need more like yellow about and like brighten certain parts up. Then I was thinking, the yellow is too bright, so we need to kind of mellow it out a little bit more and add a few more colors into the mixture and bring back a few that we haven't used quite as much. So in turn, I put in some of this here. This did some decent work, but it kind of stops, and I would rather not just simply randomly bring it back up in an inconsistent manner. Because that just feels a little too, ruined or something. I have no idea what's exactly to say for that. So I did also drag this up, and I tried to work up some ideas for an ideal roofing for at least this part. This is not going to be going over the entire thing, of course. It's going to look more like the Sydney Opera House, ladies and gentlemen. Let me put it that way. Or at least the front is going to look a little more like the Sydney Opera House. Only a little more ridiculous in the very front of it compared to like the top of it. Like I kind of like roofs like this in sorts, but I don't always use them because there's a time and place for everything, and not everything has a time and place for it. Hmm. But I think it probably doesn't actually like go enough for starters. And secondly, there's got to be like some kind of better blend for like mashing this here for the roof. Like it can't just have a straight thing going here for the two colors there. There has to either be like something in between them, maybe shifting from one side to the other. Or there needs to be like some kind of blending of the two in some weird way, like maybe like consistently or pattern or something. I'm not sure which, but I will figure it out eventually. And what I also kind of realized is that that this part might be too close to this, to where on the inside it's not quite as desirable for that kind of use of color. But if we can tone down the yellow a bit, there might be that might be seeable for acceptable after we like work out some more ideas for the roof. One thing I am sure about is that I do kind of want this part of the roof to extend out more, and another brick. Like, another brick to me has always been like this really good ideal roof color. Not sure why I always enjoyed it for roof color, but I really have. It's just has this correct kind of darkness to it that I really enjoy. What I would really like is that we got like obsidian stairs or something, and maybe it would be able to replace this a little better for certain roofs and such. Like, by all means, I'm actually not going to use stairs for this roof. I want to try to minimalize the amount of stairs I use, because if I have to use stairs for every single roof I ever make, I'm not going to learn how to be a better builder with standardized blocks. Maybe also something of this sort to bring out these points a little more. Did I actually do? No, that's one more up yet. So yeah, I kind of want to add some odd curvatures in this in various ways. whether it's consistent with the rest of it or not. As long as it's not like, I don't know, really, really ridiculous looking. Like, I don't know. Like, one right here on both sides, and none others like that. I think that would probably ruin it just a little bit. But other than that, it almost actually looks a little decent for this. Like, it adds a little something extra to it, something a little different to the mix. But with these kinds of colors, like it can kind of blend a little to the eye. It's so dark. So it's kind of avoidable when it comes to using nether brick. What you would rather do something like that with is something that's grids a little more. Like say this, or gold blocks, or yeah, something that has a little bit more of like a grid feeling to it. Like you could make a grid on it. There's like square, 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 square. Stuff like that. What also might be the case is that I might need like another color. I have considered maybe like using this to like I'll try to tone down some of the yellow in here, but I haven't figured out exactly how I am to do that. Let me try something. This is probably mellowing it down too much toward the bottom, but how does it affect the top more of it? Yeah, that mellows it out too much down there. Too much. I don't like it down there that mellowed out. Like, it actually needs that yellow right here, just about, with this kind of design. It needs something, though. Is there anything to... No. Let me try this, then. 7 there? Yes. That might be something. Yeah, that definitely adds a little something to it. And also makes it seem more like this window is trying to be held in a little better. Like, it gives that kind of a feeling to it to me. That I kinda like. I can feel it. There's something else that might be doable. But other than that, it looks a lot better now. It definitely feels a little more toned down. A little more cooperative, for sure. That's what I really like about that. Is there anything else that can be done with it? I kind of want to say something else should cross over. What about... That'd be too much. Actually, let's not look at it so close and look at it more from the far. How it's actually going to be viewed more, so. Like up close, not everything is going to look as amazing as when you look at it from further away. Because when you look at it further away, you're looking at how it's more likely actually going to be looked at. I kind of like that better. It adds more texture and a bit more depth to it, that's for sure. That's definitely something I like. Like, it needs that extra depth. I almost want to say this area is almost too plain with that there now. Hmm. Maybe. I could simply just go over this with it. Oh, right. That should be one more back. And then it'll be a little more proper. Yeah, it really takes away majority of the attention to the yellow. Like, the yellow of the gold blocks is just really, really bright. So, it's excuse me. It's something you want to use only if you really want more attention to an area. If you don't want more attention to an area, you should probably stop using gold blocks. Sorta experimenting. If you want to decrease the attention in an area or make it a little more sort of like a fade-ish feel, like a little, just take away a little less attention and just sort of fair out the use of colors. You want to use duller colored blocks. Like, you want to use from like grays to colors with less saturation to them. And it'll just sort of mellow it out to where it's a little more easy on the eyes. Do I want to? I think I do want to, but I don't want to use straight up polished diorite for this kind of job. What do I want to shove behind it? What is a good idea to shove behind it? Something not too attention-y. You know what? This might actually just be good enough. Yeah, it doesn't catch too much attention. In fact, it'll make it look a little more like a part of this. Yeah, that's not bad. Very much mellows out the attention. It's a little more controlling. Just small stuff like this makes a bit of a difference. It's still a little too solid from one thing to another for me. And no, these are not the same block. No. Maybe? That might be interesting. Maybe like this here in the middle. That could work. Like, we need a bit of a different hue in the mixture. Okay. So for those who are a little less familiarized with some of these terms I'm using and for like colors and such. Allow me to explain it a little better. Hang on a sec. I just need to find a good example. Or actually just set up a few examples. Da, 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 da. Okay, these blocks have virtually no actual color to them, to the exception of this one. This one actually has some. Let me resolve that. There. Virtually no colors to them. That means they are saturationless. Or basically saturationless. Which means they have no color. Saturation is basically like strength of color. So, actually, this is a better example. This is saturation. You have absolute color, it's very strong. There's no lights and darks to it, it's just strong color. It seems kind of bright because it's so pure. Is there any other good examples? Yes, gold is a perfect example. This is also full of saturation. So, yeah. But here's something some of you might be a little more unfamiliar with. The term hue. Hue refers to different colors, like placements of color in general, based on a color wheel. And now let's get to the real stuffs when it comes to color conversation. Okay, gold and redstone. There's three primary colors: red, yellow, blue, yellow, red. I swear I'm not colorblind. Okay. If you have them in their purest of saturation, they're all quite strong, quite bright. But biological means you should not be able to mix any colors to physically get the others. Like, if you take paints, you will never mix anything to get blue. In fact, no one has ever. It's actually hard to find any true blues in existence. Like people will be like, use lapis and this and that for a truer blue or color and such for paint or whatever. Aside from the primary colors, we have secondary colors. Purple, orange, and green. Now, secondary colors are secondary because they can be made by combining the two primary colors. Red, yellow, orange, so on and so forth. Typical common knowledge stuff, really, if you think about it. Blue, yellow, green, blue, red, purple, etc., etc. Now, when it comes to secondary colors, there's another thing about them. In a color wheel, they are on exact opposite sides from the color they stand out the most next to. Like for yellow, it's purple, for purple, yellow, etc. Blue is orange, orange is blue, and red and green, green, red. That's why red and green is so bright on Christmas. That's why that's why red and green is used on Christmas. And then we have tints, which are the lighter versions of colors, where it's ideally you're adding white to it, which kind of messes with the idea of why you exactly call something, say, a tinted window. Yeah, don't even ask me why that's the case, but this is what a tint is. That's not what a tint is. What, like, A tinted window. It doesn't make sense why it's called a tinted window. It's probably tinted black, but that's technically a shade. Then like darker values of like colors are shades, as I kind of just threw in. Now, here's basically the idea of light to dark. As best as I could put it, with as lacking of actual color saturation as I could figure out. Now, I know technically this has color to it, like there's like hints of really light blues or even like really dull blues and such, but it is the brightest block in the game, so it's included. And then this is I didn't realize I had my finger on shift. This is basically a grayscale. It goes from white to black, from lightest to darkest. Now, some of you might be thinking, why is this in here? It's so messy and it almost looks darker. Well, that's because it still reflects a lighter color. It is like the whitest stone-based block we have. Like, it is one of the more purer gray blocks we have also. Like, some of these I was sketchy, like this one particularly, I was sketchy about using for this matter. But it does reflect gray pretty well. Though I was very tempted to not include it. But yeah, ideally, this is the kind of stuff that I recognize commonly as an artist. And then this stuff I chose not to include in here because it's really unnecessary and doesn't quite fit in as well as the other stuff. Like, they just have the kind of thicker textures and that you can't really decide for where if you were to try to even shove it in here. Like, you would think maybe that would be right here, but then you're realizing there's like some of these like darker contrasting colors where it could like go maybe more here or something, and then there's like some of these like more frequent lighter spots where it's like maybe it could try to go right in between these or something. Now, when it comes to these blocks here, these are basically, oh, they're basically the same thing. So yeah, that is basically where I stand on majority of the color conversation. And then there's like one other type of colored blocks, and that is basically the dulled and mixture dulled, which is where stained clay mostly fits into. And let me make this a little more wholesome. Like, ideally, it's roughly the same as like the other stuff, only it's more mixtured with like another kind of color than just like one or two, and or it's like losing some saturation and maybe a change of like value type from of like light and dark and such. It just gets really freaking crazy after that, basically. And it makes things a little more like toned and more fair even, and it kind of has like a more relaxing feel on the eyes, I find. Like, that's kind of the what I find unique about that kind of stuff. It's more easy on the eyes. I'm just gonna punch this crap out, because I really don't need it here. And I'd rather not keep it here. For shame. For shame, Acacia. You are my favorite among the woods. Well, besides Dark Oak. Well, Dark Oak is like plank friendly, but Acacia is like the best log kind. Like, Acacia is like the grayest among the wooden logs. Then it has that amazing high contrast orange to it that I just adore. Like, I could just look at it, it looks so nice. But I'm not going to. And that'd be a little weird. Now, let me show you something else I've kind of been doing. Yes, I have kind of made this a little pointier and added this extra bit to it. But there's a little more to it than that. I have started some roof. That's right. We now have semi-roofing started. Oh yeah. And there's also a few more changes to this stuff. Like, I'm sure on DeviantArt some of you have probably seen this, or maybe on Twitter. I think I posted on Twitter. Possibly Facebook also. But that's besides the point. The point is, it started. I have some roofing started. There's finally some ceiling cover. If it rains, I can stay dry. It started. It's starting. Oh my god, yes. So yeah, that's quite the excitement going. But I do feel like there should probably be something here. It's just a tad too dark. I'll figure something out for that later. But anyway, before this video drags on too much, I think this is probably a good place to end it off. Trying to think, what's probably a good screenshot worthy location? Maybe here, or maybe the back. I think it's a good idea to maybe like have some comparison of what's constantly changing in the front every now and then. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I am Solstice 25. Hope you enjoyed the video, got some inspiration from it or something. Yeah. Just my chair. Have a good, wonderful day, everybody. Bye-bye.